Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca, and today I am going to be discussing with you my social issue as well as outlining my advocacy map template. So the social issue that I am choosing to focus on this semester entails children aging out of the foster care system, and simply not being able to secure housing nor employment, nor additionally overall resources upon aging out. Specifically, what I do know is individuals age out of the foster care system at the age of 18. Additionally, what I know is that there are significantly amount of children who are flying under the radar within foster care, meaning that they are getting lost within the system and essentially just being forgotten, as well as a significant amount of children actually running away from foster homes based off of continued abuse. And when I discuss abuse, I am discussing physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual assault, and much more. Neglect is a big piece of this as well. So what I do know about this area specifically, just with doing my research within the state of Connecticut, there are a handful of organizations, nonprofits specifically, that have created transitional step-down facilities. So individuals are able to step down from foster care into these housing facilities. Some are short-term, while others are considered long-term, which could be anywhere between 3 to 5 years long term, with the goal of returning home if that is an option. The biggest desired outcome is, of course, that I'm searching for is, of course, an increase in transitional housing upon release of the foster care system, as well as an increase in continued support surrounding securing employment, managing clinical appointments, and managing overall mental health. The ultimate social justice related outcome for society, for me, I express that a society where young adults have a plan in place when aging out of the foster care system that leads to a decrease in homelessness, as well as an increase in young adults securing employment, as well as overall case management. So case management that not only helps them with securing employment, but case management that helps them with learning how to manage their mental health and identifying additional coping skills to manage day-to-day living. So some of the resources that I chose to highlight include client, social worker, community providers and shelters, as well as government-funded housing. So as far as the clients, some of the tasks that I chose to highlight include not only searching for stable housing, but gaining knowledge and additional skills to maintaining housing, employment, and day-to-day functioning. It's not enough to just supply secured housing, but we have to be able to help clients learn how to maintain as best as they can. So essentially, really having clients focusing on building up their resources, learning how to navigate through their resources by having not only a social worker, but an outpatient outreach case manager to meet them where they are within their process. A lot of children in foster care have a hard time trusting adults, and so having an outreach case manager to meet them out in the community will help build that rapport. Essentially, the long-term outcomes for the client will be to successfully maintain employment while actively managing their mental health as well as vocational skills. As far as a social worker, some of the tasks that I chose to highlight included providing the client resources to affordable and safe housing, as well as advocating on behalf of the client for secured housing. Throughout my research of this social issue, the biggest element that I failed to see is a client actually having a social worker or a caseworker continue to advocate on his or her behalf. Of course, the long-term outcome would be that the client has an improved knowledge of how to search and maintain housing resources as well as employment. Next, I wanted to discuss community providers and shelters, and essentially my goal for community providers and shelters centered around providing clients with temporary shelter until clients can fully transition into permanent housing. That is another element that I realized is in the gray area of this social issue, where clients stepping down from the foster care have they don't have an in-between place that they can stay before finding actual secured housing. So that's something that we can really discuss further when I really go into kind of government funding, is clients need somewhere safe to go instead of just remaining homeless and just waiting for secured housing to come about. So lastly, in discussing the resource of government funding, as far as some of the tasks that I outlined, that those include meeting with the client and social worker to outline potential housing opportunities once aging out, but also creating a more affordable step-down transitional housing program to allow clients to wait and work towards their long-term goals. Underneath the course of government-funded housing, as far as the long-term outcome for that specific resource, policies in place to ensure safe placement, but also a statewide agencies being able to gain funding to create more transitional housing to bridge the gap for clients. So if we're able to not only have a handful of transitional homes, why not step into our communities and really see what we can do with some of these abandoned buildings, but also collaborative measures to try to build up from within. So I am unfortunately over time. So I'm hoping I was able to really outline the advocacy map, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.